name is Ralf Huber. I'm living in Springfield, Oregon, and I'm an assemblage artist, and we are here at the R21 Art Gallery at Pearl Street in Eugene. And the R21 is displaying my new Menage Noir series of assemblage work. You might wonder about this French-sounding title. Well, I always thought French has a real elegant sound to it. One could also say it has a very pretentious sound. And that's kind of a kick at the art industry, which is full of pretentiousness. Anyway, the real reason for this series name, Menage Noir, and also titles here being in French, is the fact that I was growing up near the French border. And my travels as a young boy and young adult always brought me through the Alsace terrain. And this terrain is sprinkled with old factories and gritty factory towns, and that left in me a lasting impressions. All the dark alleys and the dark black buildings, many of them in decay, no longer used, but still monuments of the toil of people in there. So that kind of never left me, and that brings me back to what really started me as an artist 5 years ago. I've studied Industrial Revolution, and I encountered a lot of issues like labor laws, and in particular how children got exploited, starting with the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century. So my first series of work, and it took me 2 years to create, is comprised of roughly 50 pieces that are addressing child labor, past and present. That series was followed by another series about Western hegemony, and that took about a year to create, and it was displayed at several locations. After this, I was kind of exhausted. Simple reason for that, all these studies that I had to do for the child labor series, and same with Western hegemony, it really drained my energy. So I wanted to do something that was kind of more fun, more flowing, and without wanting to tell a narrative. So that was a mere reason why I started this series. It is all abstract, so rather than, as I said, telling a narrative with this series and its abstract character, I wanted the viewer to be the creator as well. Look at the pieces, see whatever you want to see in it. You don't have to think what I think. There's no real story behind it. I would just look at it and come up with your own interpretations, and like it or not. Here we are looking at a piece called Ville Noire. As I see, it's a solid monochrome black piece. It's comprised of almost 90% packaging material. It started with this piece up here, which is nothing else but a styrofoam piece. I cannot remember what I received in it, but it looked so nice and quirky, I just didn't want to throw away, and started doodling around with it, painted it black, and it really started to develop energy. And that's what I noticed when I worked on my child labor series too. You paint elements black, they totally change the appearance, the energy. Particularly pieces that had a previous life, they get a new life. And that happens here with all these packaging materials. So that's also a styrofoam piece. These are these little thingies that hold the Christmas lights. That's nothing but a jewelry box piece. Seeing another styrofoam and glass containers, small glass containers. I don't even remember what all this is, but it was just fun giving all these pieces a new meaning, a new life, and working together in context. And moving over to this piece here, same situation, a lot of repurposed, reused materials, found objects, thrown away objects, to find my pieces, I mean, I'm raiding construction sites, I'm looking at walkways all the time. You won't believe what you find on walkways. Same at home, if something breaks, I mean, don't throw it away, you could use it. Prime example is this thingy here. That's part of a dishwasher. So, too good to throw away, but just look at how it comes at you. It really develops energy by getting painted back. It was nothing but a solid plastic piece. And to liven it up a little, I added a few red accents to it, which is why this piece is called accent rouge, which means red accent.
Okay.
This piece is called Le Temps Perdu, which means lost time. And the reason for this title is it uses a lot of vintage pieces or pieces that I intentionally did let weather in my backyard for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Good example for that, these pieces up here with the holes in it. What these are, it's actually a pool cue holder where you put the cue sticks in. And also these are baluster pieces, and same again from construction sites, just scrap wood that I'm using. Packaging material you see, like the other piece we talked about earlier, it's straight black monochrome, which really delivers an energy. Almost monochrome, I should say, because we have this little photo lens here that you can look into or let it shine at you. I added some aluminum foil on the back and some transparent green on the front, so it really has kind of, it works with light this way. Then we can move over to a piece that is not using as much vintage material but modern material, which is why it's called Monde Industriel, which means the industrial world. Industrial world, because all these are kind of found pieces from an industrial construction site. These are metal pieces, which I really don't know what they used it for, but it kind of came together nicely in context with each other, the squares and the circle, which has, to me, kind of gives it some logical underpinning in a way. Because it really works together in a very logical, straight way. I always looked at this like an abstract painting done in assemblage. This assemblage piece is called Gare Centrale, which means central station. You wonder why central station? When I created it, I really had nothing in mind. It was just one of those moments when you, well, you were done with work, you didn't want to start reading a book, and what do you do in these 15 minutes that you have? You start nailing things together. That's how this started, and just put these two together and wait a minute, you can add some straight lines here and something that looks like a sign from a train road station, and at a sudden you have this motion in it. And what I like about this piece is it works nicely, in my opinion, with positive and negative space and spatial ambiguity. Particularly this silver piece here with these small black elements, it's something that kind of talks to me. This piece is called Sans Raison, which means for no reason. So same situation with this. You have some spare time in your hand to start nailing stuff together. That's not how many of my assemblage pieces work. Unlike, as I talked about earlier, my child labor series, I started these pieces with a strict concept in mind. I wanted to tell a certain story about a certain industry, about a person, what happened to that person. So this is a 180-degree different approach. I do not have anything in mind when I started this abstract series, which is why I enjoy it so much. It's kind of a break from what I did before. Not a break in the sense of, oh, having a pause. No, a break in the sense of doing it differently. drawing energy from what you're doing now. Anyway, this sans raison piece, I thought it's just all about piecing things together, plus, and here my wife Ute comes into play, she suggested, why is everything black? It's depressing me. So, you know, okay, good, I know you love pink, so let's have some not too pink color mixed, which is this magenta shade. And these two little bright pink were just to please her a little. This piece is called J'ai survécu, which means I survived. It's a very personal piece to my wife, not just because it features a lot of pink colors, but because it features the serious topic of breast cancer. It might not be noticeable to you, it doesn't have to. I mean, all these pieces that we are looking at, they do have a personal meaning to me, it might have a different personal meaning to you, which is why I said, you as a viewer are also the creator. So, what we, or my wife Ute and me, see in this is either a clown laughing tears about what's happening to you, or it could be cancer cells leaving the body. So you make your interpretation about this. It's not a depressing piece, it should be a happy piece. Deal with the situation and you will survive. This piece is called Le Trottoir, which is, well, the sidewalk. We have assemblage here that, as you will notice, is featuring an upside down shoe. Thanks to my wife Ute, and thanks to the shoe not fitting, I could use it. So we have here the upside down shoe, and on top of it kind of what looks like a little bit of a skyline sort of thing, streets. And when I showed a same situation here, I have no big intentions in creating this, but what I found interesting when I did show it to someone, she saw in it, well, does it mean prostitution, this piece? Mm-hmm. So again, the viewer is the creator. This piece is called Memoirs, which means memories. It has a bit of a different feel to it than all the other works that you just saw. For the very reason that it features a lot of elements in it that were sitting in my backyard for a very long time, like frames that I was hanging up at our fence, and a squirrel feeder that was falling on the ground that I found after numerous years, which is why you see here kind of leaves on it, like petroglyphs in a way. And that's a piece of the frame that I was just talking about. Several other elements from my backyard in a way, found objects again. And that's what I found on our street. It's a street reflector upside down, where you just paint it black. And has a nice little quirky feel to it. Also some old documents and some lesser pieces. It's really assemblage of lots of old stuff. That's why it's called Memoirs, Memories. Wrong title. Le temps moderne means modern times. So when you hear that, you probably think about the famous Charlie Chaplin movie, which is good thinking, but the spark to this piece was created by a book that I read about, the development of the modern factory. So when I was reading this book, I had going through my mind these huge plants like the Ford Motor Company plant in Dearborn, Michigan, with humongous assemblage lines. So that's kind of what this piece tries to resemble. This monotonous motion, big wheels and big bands and things. I had viewers looking at this piece. They didn't see an assemblage line, they saw more like railroad tracks in it. Another one saw a steam engine in it. So yes, be my guest, make your interpretation of what you see in it. But interesting is, it always comes back to the motion thing with this piece. This piece is called The Fool on the Hill, which luckily doesn't need any translation. it's the first piece where I was working monochrome white to see how white changes elements. It doesn't work in the same way as black, so that's what I really found interesting, and I wanted to add these black accents to it just to emphasize the white elements more. Why it's titled this way? Well, I'm living on a hill and that's really how I feel most of the time. This piece is called Society of the Spectacle. It got inspired by a book which is called Society of the Spectacle, a very critical book about society back in the 60s, how it changed with the entertainment industry, communication industry, and it's more relevant than ever, this book. This, I believe Debord was his name, he really predicted almost what we are into now with social media and all that, without even having internet or something. Kind of, he saw all that coming with the advent of the television, how people reacted to television, and he saw that progress coming. Anyway, that's kind of the inspiration to this piece. So what you see is nothing else but laptop screen, a rubber cork, and old sunglasses. Society of the Spectacle. I would love you to come and see my work live. Just make your own ideas, thoughts, interpretations about what I just talked about. I would feel honored to get your feedback, and come over to R21 Gallery at Pearl Street, 2nd floor, and we don't have regular hours, but contact us, make an appointment. We'll be here and we'll be more than pleased to chat with you about the work.